Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we have a lot to discuss because the recent MetaConnect event absolutely changed the future of XR. Now that might sound like hyperbole, but I'm going to break everything down for you. Plus, I'll go over all the latest game announcements and this week's new releases. And finally, we even have a little bit of redemption for the Viisor HMD. Now, there are, of course, links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is sponsored by my long-term partner, Kiwi Design. If you're looking for any type of VR accessories, I highly recommend you check out their site. They have everything including link cables and pulley systems, all the way to my favorite Elite-style head straps. If you're thinking of picking up a Quest 3S in the near future, I highly recommend you pair it with a Kiwi strap. There's a link to Kiwi down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Okay, so let's start things off like normal with the check-in, and that's what exactly have I been up to in the VR world. Now, if you guys are not informed, I had a medical incident, didn't make it to connect. That story's in a different video. However, I'm doing great. I feel absolutely fantastic. I gotta wear this heart monitor for a few more days, but it looks like my heart is perfect. The heart wasn't the issue. We'll never know exactly what caused me to kind of pass out in the airport, but it's probably a combination of meds I was on for the chronic laryngitis I was dealing with. If you guys follow the channel, they all said avoid sunlight. They all say they cause dehydration. Yay. I was in the sunlight. I probably wasn't drinking enough. I was a little bit off that week. Whatever the case was, exhaustion, overworking, medications. It happened, but it doesn't look like it's my heart. Everything is checking out so far. Everything is looking good. That's the best news possible. Like I said, I feel like I have a new lease on life. I'm super pumped up lately. I'm feeling amazing. VR has me more pumped up than ever, and I'm just happy to be back here making videos for you guys. So that's the check-in. I also have some really cool stuff I'm working on. I'll put a little clip in so you could see some new accessories, lots of cool stuff, lots of games coming. It's an amazing time for VR, but no more dragging this out. Let's get into this week's new releases. First up is a truly unique puzzle title, Snapstick. This is from the same developers that gave us the absolutely fantastic title Limelight, and their newest title is offering up over 500 puzzles, which also feature over 60 different mechanics. This is everything from creating Rube Goldberg style machines, all the way to utilizing shadows to solve puzzles. It's also fully playable with controllers, or you could use hand tracking, and it looks like this game will offer up a nice amount of quirkiness too. So if you enjoy puzzle games, you'll probably want to put this title on your list. Now, next up, we have a title based on the extremely popular card game, Exploding Kittens. Now, previously, I had never heard of Exploding Kittens. I was not familiar with the card game, but someone brought it to our VR gamer vacation that we recently went on. I don't know if it was Jay Bratt or Genghis. Someone brought it and said, hey, we gotta play. They also tried to describe it like it was Uno, which is completely wrong. It's very different, but it's a fantastic card game that you just sit around a table, play with a bunch of your friends. And I think this experience will be fantastic in VR, because mainly it's a solid card game. Now, I will say, I don't think the trailer does the title justice. It's quirky, and you really don't know what the hell is going on. So if you're not already familiar with Exploding Kittens, you probably wouldn't give this game a second look. Between the name and quirkiness, I feel it's going to throw off a lot of people, but if you enjoy playing cards with a bunch of friends, definitely give this one a shot. But that's enough of the kidsy stuff. Let's move on to Blood and Guts with Metal Hellsinger releasing on PCVR. Now, I've probably mentioned this game 1,000 times on the channel by now, so this is going to be brief. This is basically Doom as a rhythm shooter. Cool weapons, plenty of demons to slay, and you do it all to the beat of rock music. The game previously released on Quest, it's badass, and now PCVR players can get it. Moving on, we have another interesting looking title coming to PCVR, and that is Vestiges Fallen Tribes. Now, I love to see different genres represented in VR, and this is a turn-based strategy game that utilizes cards for some epic battles. Now, I was already intrigued by this game, but then I noticed it was developed by Undead Studios, the same team that gave us amazing titles such as Ragnarok and Propagation VR. So now my expectations are pretty damn high, and I'm gonna have to try this one out. Now, unfortunately, that's all of this week's new releases, but let's move into some new game announcements, starting with Undead Citadel coming to the Quest. This physics-based action-adventure title previously released for PCVR, and soon Questers will be able to jump in for some mature-themed action. Now, I actually played this game back when it released, and I had mixed feelings. Something about the combat was throwing me off, but I was really into the overall immersion, the graphics, and the storytelling. Now, I've heard there have been some updates, so maybe it's time to jump back in. Now, I also wish this was more of an RPG rather than an action-adventure title, but if you are looking for a game like that, it does scratch the itch. There's no official release date just yet, but it should be coming pretty soon. Now, we also have an interesting crossover event for X8. Apparently, they're joining forces with a staple video game from my childhood, Contra. Now, this update isn't planned to release until December, and as of right now, all we got is a little tease. And speaking of teases, it looks like PlayStation is hinting that Starship Troopers is coming to the PlayStation VR 2. We got Juan Rico himself from the original movie holding up a PlayStation VR 2 and telling the troops to get ready. Now, that announcement is actually supposed to be dropping the same day as this video, so by the time you're watching this, we might have more information, but right now it just looks like they're hinting at Starship Troopers in VR. We don't know if it's the previous game ported, a new game, who knows, but I'm pretty pumped about this. Now, I'm a little bit less pumped by the fact that it was announced that Skydance's Behemoth is getting delayed until December. Now, in an official statement, Skydance said they want to make sure the game has AAA level polish, and I'm 100% cool with that. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Retribution had a bit of a rocky launch, and I definitely don't want to see that happen to a game that already looks so damn awesome. But let's move on to one more major story before I get into the hardware news and today's main topic. So I've been nominated as Content Creator of the Year at the AI XR Awards, so I need a huge favor. I need you guys to stop what you're doing right now, click pause, go to the description, click the link, and vote for me. Now, there's plenty of other amazing content creators in there. However, they all punch puppies. I love puppies. They're the best. I heard that every other content creator in there punches puppies, so you shouldn't vote for them. Vote for Mateo311. He loves puppies. Jokes aside, you vote for who you want to. I would appreciate your vote, but we're all out there working hard. Everyone deserves it. Thank you guys. Please go vote. All right, let's move on to some even cooler stories. After an absolutely horrendous event for the Viisor HMD, where all of their prototype units stopped working and were not available for live testing, but in a little bit of a comeback story, the firmware update that caused these headsets to go down has been resolved, and they were able to rush over to Meta and give some actual live demos. Now, I didn't get the demo myself, obviously, because I wasn't there, but I have spoken to a few content creators, and Todd from Q2C made a bunch of public statements where he said a lot of aspects were looking good, but not all features on the headset were operational, and it definitely still needs some work. But let's get into the main story, how Meta has basically changed the future of XR overnight. I know that sounds like hyperbole, but just give me a minute to break it down. This is honestly the best Meta. You might have watched and been like, not that much was announced, not that much is going on. I wanted to hear GTA, whatever the case may be. No, this right here overall was a massive net positive, and let me explain. For starters, they announced a new headset that's insanely affordable. $300 for the Quest 3S is incredible. It's gonna sell, and it's bundled with Batman. This is the type of game I would recommend people go out and buy the headset for. It is a console seller. Finally, the game looks amazing, and they're giving it away for free, bundled with an absolutely amazing product. And they talked about how the Quest 3S can now do so much more than gaming and how they're continuing to expand it. So you finally have a device that's gonna be affordable, appeal to more than just gamers, and it's also bundled with a console seller. Console seller. Then after that, they showed how they're easily branching out into other markets. Their main future goal of making XR wearables. The Ray-Ban Metas were a product that I originally looked at, and I was like, I have no interest in them. I'm not going to go around taking photos. I don't care. But now they showed how the average person would have a use case for these. Doing things like active translation, having access to AI. I use them all the time to answer phone calls or even use navigation while I'm walking around. And the fact that they're becoming so much more robust, getting more styles, it's a wearable that the average person will want. Forget about VR gaming. This is an XR wearable that the average person would consider getting. And then we move into the future. They slide right into Orion, and they show that, listen, our dream that we've been talking about for 10 years now is coming true. We're going to have a device that does everything you want. Your VR gaming, your content creation, your navigation, your listening to music, your actual augmented reality out of nowhere, active translation, all the 3D phone calls. We got it. We made it. It's 100 grams. You don't have to have a stupid blocky thing on your head. It has a wrist strap for controls that, are like magic. It has everything you could want. And they said, look, it's no more the pipe dream. We've done it. Now it's a prototype. We just got to work out how to get the price down, how to make it, mass producible, get the kinks out. And that future we've been talking about is only a few years away. which absolutely blew me away. Like, I was insanely impressed by this. I knew we were going to hear about some sort of AR device, but I did not think they were this far along in the game. And I just have to comment how this is so much more grounded than the BS metaverse crap they were pushing us a few years ago. All that cartoony nonsense like, you're gonna get dressed in the metaverse and then pick up your phone call in the metaverse and your best friend's gonna be a robot. And no, forget all that cartoony nonsense. That was just not practical, unrealistic, and not what anybody wanted. We are now finally at that wearable computing device. Something that could replace or augment your cell phone, where they've wanted to be for 10 years, and they've been pushing so hard to get there. They're getting past all those insane hurdles like comfort and weight and processing power and field of view and the type of display that works with augmented reality. They're getting past all those hurdles and they're gonna make this a reality, and I was blown away. This is insane. The future is gonna be amazing, guys. I am pumped. If you're only here for the VR gaming aspect, don't worry, that is still looking fantastic also. The next 3 months are absolutely loaded from indie to AAA titles. I am absolutely pumped, and once again glad that I didn't croak in the airport and I'm alive to see this stuff happen. And that right there was today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up. Please leave your comments down below, whatever they are. I love hearing from you guys. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you on next time.